How you doing, YouTube? It's Electronic Mechanic. Back on the Lincoln MKT project. This car has 260,000 miles on it, and a lot of the suspension joints are worn out. So I'm going to be replacing the sway bar end links and the rear shocks. This is the rear shock here, bolt goes through there. I've already started this project and forgot to start the camera. So we're going to take it from here, basically. That's one of my biggest problems, is I get going on a project and I forget to turn the camera on and film it. And then I don't get much content for the channel, which hurts you guys. Anybody that wants to watch my YouTube channel anyway. But so yeah, we're gonna get this the sway bar end links go here like this, so they're in the way of this bolt here to get the shock out. So it's a good thing I'm replacing these, but you have to take these off first before you can get that bolt out for the for the shock. So I got those off, and now I'm gonna go up in the vehicle and try to figure out how to get the rear shock out. And that's where we'll go. Alright, so we got the car lowered down to the ground. We're going to go inside the car here to try to get the top shock mounts. As you can see, I have the interior of this car gutted, because that's how I clean vehicles I get. I pull the seats, pull the rugs, and I pressure wash the rugs, clean them really good, clean the seats really good, do any kind of repairs to the seats, and then I put it all back together. That's kind of just what I do. I don't know, it's a sickness. For some reason, I just have to get all the coffee spills out of the carpets. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Let's try to shed some light on this subject. Get in here without sitting on a bolt. Alright, so in this car, it has these carpeted panels on the sides here, and the shock is in here, the top of the shock. So take one of your trim tools, your trim removal tools, what I like to use, and this panel actually will just pop right off, which is awesome. This whole car, for the most part, the interior snaps apart like that, and it's really awesome. I have this other trim tool here that I like to use. It works really well. Alright. This little hook down here, I think it's a cargo hook, is in the way a little bit, but I think we won't have to remove that. Actually, nope. These panels are flexible enough you can lift it right up over. Now, this black panel here, I believe, yep, if you reach up on top of there, there's a little door. Right there's the top shock mount. That bolt right there. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know how time consuming it is to film things and get set up for each shot and everything. But I'm kind of like, let's get it done now kind of guy. So trying to set up filming for this kind of stuff, really, I tend to not do it just because it takes forever and I want to get the work done. But I want to show a lot of people out there how to do certain things, because I am a big believer in fixing things yourself. So inside this panel here, we showed you that this nut is 18 millimeter and this top is 8 millimeter. You're going to want to get a ratchet for that and a wrench for this, so that when you start loosening this is going to eventually start spinning. So you're going to need to hold it with a wrench or a ratchet. But I like putting a ratchet wrench down here and just start loosening it. And hopefully it won't start spinning, but sometimes they do. there's some Loctite on the threads up here. Keep this from backing all the way out, but we'll see what happens here. Hopefully we don't need to hold it, but if we do, we have, yeah, see, it's gonna start turning right when we hit that Loctite. See that? So that's how it goes when you work on stuff yourself. You kind of wish you had 3 hands, but yeah, see. So now you need your 8mm. Sorry, I got some allergies going on here, so sorry to be snorting in the microphone here, but there's really no way around it. I live in southeastern Pennsylvania, and you can probably hear the cicadas in the background. The cicadas are out of control in this area. Alright, I think that's loose enough that we can do it off by hand. Oh yeah. So you're going to pull this off, and this you're going to reuse if it's in good shape, because the new shocks don't come with that. And I think that's it. You should just be able to push that sucker down through, or pull it down through from the outside. But that's the top bolt removal. Yeah, there it goes. You just push it out, just like that. This is the driver's side panel. And like I said, same sort of deal. Just start popping the panel off here. You want to get your little pry tool back behind here. Get it started. And then I get my bigger tool. And start popping the panels off. And like I said, this hook's kind of in the way, but you can kind of you can usually flex these up and over it like that, so you don't have to remove them, and that makes life a little easier. Put my all right, well, my light magnet's not going to hold that, but this side's the same as the other. This little panel here flips back, and you flip your little insulation out of the way, and you can see the bolt there. But it's just a repeat of the other side. So here's my Rock Auto package that I bought. Now, I cheaped out on a lot of these parts because you know, it is what it is. If I get 2 years out of these sway bar end links, I think these were $4 each. These are the back ones on Rock Auto. If I get 2 years out of them for $4, you kind of can't beat that. These front ones I think were like $8. There's no grease fittings on them, but they look well. They look good enough. And like I said, if they last freaking 2 years, it's worth the $20 I paid for all 4 of them. And they're easy enough to change out. And then I went a little on the cheaper side for the shocks, but like I said, this car was free. It was given to me, and I'm just trying to make it pass inspection. And it doesn't, I mean, it is a Lincoln, so it rides nice, but I don't think that these factory Motorcraft shocks really are much different than these Gabriels. These were 40 each, and the OEM replacement Motorcrafts were 100 each. So, save a little money. And like I said, if this car lasts a good long time, then we'll upgrade in the future. But for now, this is what we're putting on. So, then we'll get to putting more. If you can see here, I got that in, and now I'm going to work on getting this lower bolt in here. Got the bolt. Line up your hole a little bit. There go. Get your threads started by hand, and that ought to work. Now you got this bolt here started. So what I like to do is I'll run that in just a little bit till it's just slightly snug, and then I'll go up and tighten my top bolt. But I'm going to do this on the other side as well, and then go back up into the car and get the top bolt put back on. All right, so here we are on this is the passenger side. And like I said, spray a little lubricant on your rubber and put it up behind the brake line here. Oh, forgot to take your old one out. Don't forget to do that. You don't want to double stack your rubber isolators. Yeah, so that's up there. That's up in. And here you go. You see that I got the bottom of the shock backwards. But that's not a problem. With these cars, there's plenty of room here. You can just lift up on it slightly, spin it 180, and drop it back down. And put your factory bolt that you took out right back in. And by the way, this bolt is 21 millimeter. Now you can do this any way you want, but you have to lift the suspension up a little bit to get your top bolts on. Or if you did it the opposite way, if you put the nut on the top first, you would need to jack the suspension up to be able to get the bottom bolt in. So since I have mine on the lift, all I did was put some jack stands on the suspension and then lower it down to push the suspension up. Pretty easy. Most cars are the same when it comes to this kind of thing. Now it's going to start turning again, so you're going to want to get your 8mm ratchet or wrench or whatever you decide to use, and give it a hold on to it. And just tighten it down till it's tight. And basically you're just bottoming in the threads out. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And then tuck your little pillow over and your little pad back over the top here. This is all for noise and everything. And then you can tuck your panel back on the back side of this. And just line up your clips. Snap it all back into place really easily. And now we'll just do a 180 and do the other side. Nothing like squeezing yourself into tight spaces. Like I said, this side is just a repeat. Just a repeat of the other side. Pretty easy. It's literally the mirror image. Take your wrench. Now see, this one's going to start turning a lot earlier than the other one did. So you want to get your wrench on, or your ratchet or wrench, or whatever you decide to use, and when you hit your bottom out, just give her a good snug, and you're done. Flip your little noise pillow over, tuck your rubber cover in. It just kind of lays there, and you're done. Tuck your interior panel back behind here, and line up your latches. And snap it all back together.